I had
Okay.
completely didn't do that. I want to welcome Io to the call. So this is where we now are firm that our intention is to show up. My intention is to show up full and powerful. This is the work now of the steps towards using this technique to see what comes up for each of us. So
may I comment?
Well, I'm striving to do this piece, but go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
Well, I feel that I will remain peaceful and powerful no matter what.
Okay.
I don't think that I am going to show up. I already am showing up. I'm not going to alter that. Regardless of what the outcome is, I will maintain that status of peace and power because I still have to go on.
Right. That's for sure. So what you might do, Sai, is have a different intention for yourself.
Okay.
You can just choose a different one. You can share it in the chat. What we want to do, though, is move to what's the first negative thought for the rest of us who are using this as our intention. What's the thought that comes up that tells you this can't happen? Thought, feeling, image. What is the negative voice is another way of saying it. And you might write that down in the chat box or share it. We have a small group. I am taking some notes, but I'm also doing some chat. The other piece is to actually look at, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is the likelihood of that happening? The likelihood of being peaceful and powerful no matter what. From 0 to 10. 10 being totally confident that's how you will be. 0 being, I don't know, they're gonna wear me out. So you might want to share your number in the chat or with us. Io, I can see your beautiful forehead. We would love to see your whole face. From DC, breathologist has joined. That's the doggy.
So I'll share.
Okay.
Similar to Sai, I feel like I have no problem maintaining my peace and being centered. However, everyone else I know will be affected, especially even people in my home. And being an empath, I know that I will feel that. So that's where I get a sense of a 5. And so it makes me want to harder and stronger hold close to being centered and showing up with that same intention.
Thank you. So what, did you create a different intention though, Cheryl? I meant to ask you that.
I did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. I created a different intention, but I do also hold I hold space for the intention. So it's like a group intention and then my personal private intention. So
okay, got it. All right. So for Shakira, she'd written in the chat, what is coming up for me is, what if Trump wins? If that is the case, I will struggle to keep my peace. I believe I will hold on to my sense of power. Okay. So what is the number that you put to that, Shakira? What is Cheryl said that she would put a 5 to the likelihood of her being able to maintain her peace and feeling powerful. What is the ranking you're giving to that you shared with us in the chat?
Let me split it through. I think that my intention for peace right now is at a 4. Maybe that's high. Maybe it's that high. My intention for power is probably closer to 7.
So you'll feel you'll feel much more powerful than you will feel peaceful.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if we split the difference between the two of them, you might be a 5.5.
Something like that.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is use the essential oils in the memory release mix or blend. We're going to take 1 drop of frankincense, 1 drop of lavender, and 1 drop of stress away. Okay, to actually drop them in our palms, activate the oil and breathe into. Actually, we're supposed to do 2 other things. One is, where do we feel whatever emotion has come up? There's an emotion that comes up that tells us we're not, we're not going to, see this or feel this power or peacefulness. In other words, it won't show up. So we want to know where in our bodies do we feel that, and what single word emotion might we attach to that? Is there one word that you might attach to that emotion? And after we do that, then we'll smell those oils. Anybody have a word that comes up?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Stress.
Stress.
Judgment.
Judgment. Okay. So where are you all notice where you're feeling these words in your body. And that judgment word, what's the feeling under the judgment? Just for you to work with. Just for you to work with. Look and see. Shakira, that list of emotions,
yes,
could be put up. But what you want to do is notice where an emotion is in your body. And, there may be a memory. Drift back to your earliest memory. It could be recent, but drift back to your earliest memory of when you felt like that before. Now you should be smelling these oils. You can hold that memory as an image, as a snapshot, in other words, as a movie, because you may have a lot of stuff that comes under that heading of judgment, let's say, for example. It may be that it is rage or fear, as we talked about before. You may not have shared what your particular emotion is that has come up. Sometimes we have done such an excellent job of pushing down the number 22 here on the emotional scale, the fear, the grief, the depression, the despair, the powerlessness. Sometimes we have done such an excellent job that it takes a couple of rounds of doing this technique to get to the heart of how we really felt in a situation that made us, not feel fully at optimum. So breathe deeply into your belly. Breathe into the belly. And when you exhale, You can exhale out of your mouth slowly. Okay. Take deep breaths into that image of the memory, into that snapshot. If it's more like several frames of a movie clip or a video clip called anxiety, and there's a lot of different ways that you remember that happening, you can do that. You can breathe into that memory. Also breathe into the area of the body where you're feeling that, weight of that emotion. So Cheryl said she's feeling it in her stomach and upon her shoulders. I was working with someone yesterday and they were feeling everything in their head. So you don't know until you give yourself permission to relax and actually see what comes up. And allow it to come up. Don't judge it. It may be that memory or snapshot that seems unrelated is quite related. That's why we wanted to have pencil and paper to write some things down, and so that we can recall what it is. Okay? So if you're through breathing in the oils and you've seen maybe some change, maybe a shift in how you are feeling, or a thought or a new idea may come to you. And you can note that shift. Sometimes this exercise actually has you breathe into an earlier period or a later period that in a more quintessential way expresses or symbolizes the emotion and what you're going, what your mind and heart and emotional pattern is striving to communicate to you. Shakira is remembering a scene from the end of her senior year in college, and she's feeling it in her chest. Okay. If you feel that you are at a point where you can release that particular image, you may want to use the oil blend called Release, or the oil blend called Inner Child, or Gentle Baby. You might notice that the beliefs start to emerge that are a response to some concern you have and how to handle it. You may identify new beliefs that begin to emerge. Okay? Is everyone through this first round? I didn't get everyone's number. You didn't use the chat to share your number with me. All the numbers I have are Cheryl's 5 and Shakira's 5. I don't know what the rest of you had as.
Pat, I had a 7.
Oh, Pat. Well, Pat, you had a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you have a 7 or 8, then it wasn't a stretch for you.
Well, it's because I've been thinking about it and talking about it to other people today.
Okay, good. So that means that you can still participate to see if you can get it to a 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So did you have anything you want to share